What's up, guys? Welcome back to CHIMICOmics in this new installment of our CHIMICRISIS event. Today we're going to be covering 52, and I've got the omnibus sitting here.
I had it on my phone.
I read it on my tablet. I didn't even read it on the book.
I didn't realize this. Yeah, I came in and you were like, "Yeah, I've read all this," and you opened it up, and I was like, "Whoa, he's actually reading."
If it's on digital, it's more convenient.
Yeah,
I can read it in my bed.
That's why I've got first and on.
I don't know. With Infinite Crisis, I read it in the omnibus.
Yeah, you were going for that.
Yeah.
There was a lot.
Yeah. Well, that was because all the content was in there.
Mm-hmm.
Couldn't read any other way. But, so we got kind of a mix-up because, last week we recorded the first half.
Yeah, volumes 1 and 2.
Issues 1 through 26
yeah.
we did last week, so we wouldn't forget. And
our original.
Now we're going to be covering 27 through 52.
Our original plan was not to tell you that we waited a week and just wear the same clothes, but Riley forgot that he had a haircut.
I got planned. A haircut.
So he was like, "Yeah, that ain't gonna work." I told him we should still do it and see if
funny.
people noticed. But no, I decided to wear my new hoodie.
So, we'll give you a quick review, and then it'll be us from last week. So, Wyatt, what did you think of the whole thing?
The whole thing, I enjoyed it. It had a lot of good twists. Art was good.
Art was pretty good.
Yeah. It had a lot of stuff going on, which is kind of my only downside. It had a lot. We
counted up
many
like
things.
6 or 7 different storylines that it went through, so it's a lot to keep up with.
Oh yeah, we gotta remember the Morrow storyline. I don't think we said that one. See, we forgot
We
one.
mentioned it a bit.
Yeah. But out of rating, I'll give it like a 8.5 to a 9.
Okay. I'm about the same place, probably a 9. It's not my favorite, but it is probably my favorite weekly comic.
Yeah, it's very good week.
It's very hard to put a weekly comic together and make it all work, especially when you got 4 different writers.
Yeah, they even put in a little fourth wall break joke, didn't they? They said the weekly grind is getting to me. Who said that? The ambush bug.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was only in there for 1 issue.
Yeah, he was. When they tried to restart the Justice.
At the end of each issue, did you read the little excerpts? I mean, it was like a full page of text from the writers. Some of them were pretty interesting. I didn't read them all.
I did not read any.
They were pretty cool.
I just thought it was credits.
No.
Like, this is all who worked.
No, it was like them talking about what they did that week with that issue. So it was pretty cool stuff.
Now I know next time to maybe check those out.
Next time? You gonna read this again?
Well, no, just next time we do a big thing like this.
Oh.
Like if there's multiple issues and so.
Yeah.
Like,
not many things I've read do stuff like that. So that was cool. Yeah, so
we're gonna time travel real quick.
Yeah, you'll see us from last week talking about 1 through 26.
I'll be using my booster gold powers.
We'll see you there.
Let's go.
Alright. So, one big character in this story was Booster Gold.
Yeah.
Who we like to equate Wyatt to.
Not the booster in this book though. I'm not that guy. I'm the cool booster in the other stories.
Booster in this story is a douche.
He's a massive jerkwad.
He's not a good dude.
I mean, even superheroes get thirsty sometimes.
Yeah. You'll put that over there. Thanks.
You're welcome.
I can't remember everything, so I'm just going to kind of flip through.
Okay.
I'll look at what we're doing here. So there's...
It starts like just after the Infinite Crisis.
Yeah,
legitimately
it's like
just
days after. So, dang, look at all the people that worked on this.
I know, it's so big.
That's a lot of people.
Had a lot of points of view in the story too.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of stuff going on.
A lot of work goes into a weekly series. Mm-hmm. Like, when you're reading a monthly title, it's usually just a writer and maybe 1 or 2 artists. They'll switch off artist duties.
Didn't they have a fourth wall broke with ambush bug? Like he said
Yeah.
something about, the weekly grind is killing me.
Which
52.
I didn't really get because ambush bug is in like 2 issues.
Yeah.
So I was like,
I love
okay.
ambush bug. He's pretty funny. He's goofy.
He's kind of like Deadpool, but not as cool.
Yeah. Also more of a slob.
Yeah. My copy is kind of cheap. Like it's been through a lot.
Yes.
I didn't pay much for it though, so that was the upside.
Riley's always looking for deals.
I am looking for deals. When you collect these things, you have to look for
Yeah.
deals. This is the worst condition book I own though, so. Oh yeah, so you got like one of the first things that happens is Black Adam picks up this supervillain dude and just rips his arms and legs off.
That's not a that's a suicide bomber.
Was it?
Yeah, it ain't just a super villain. It's just like a normal super.
No, I thought he ripped somebody open at the embassy though.
Well, yeah, but that's later on. Like that's a little bit after.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah.
I know somebody tried to bomb Kondak, right?
Yeah, that was the guy.
Yeah.
He was ripping up there. What's the name of the?
Soda Cola.
Soda Cola.
Soda.
Even superheroes get thirsty sometimes. We're sponsored by Coke. I wish we could say that.
Later on, it might be in issue 2 actually. Oh, I remember Ralph's.
Yeah, Ralph
grave.
Dibney is also a big character. You'll remember
Yeah.
him from our. We did a video on it. What's the
Identity Crisis.
Identity Crisis?
Yeah.
Which wasn't an actual crisis, but a lot of stuff goes back to it where Sue Dibney is killed, which is Ralph's wife.
For something not a crisis, they refer to it a lot.
Yeah.
So that's why I wanted us to read it.
Mm-hmm. That's the only time Power Girl comes in, isn't it?
Power Girl? Yeah.
Yeah,
that's the only time I've seen her so far.
Yeah, and she was kind of big in the crisis. I was expecting more of her. Oh yeah, and the main villains I think is Intergang, which is like you know how there's Interpol, which is International Police. Well, they're the criminal version, International Gang, Intergang.
Intergang.
They try to use Kondak as a place to like.
Yeah, see, it's that cowboy dude, and then he rips him apart.
Yeah, the biker.
Yeah, like in half.
And rains blood down upon poor Lois Lane.
So that used to be
We're just getting right into it, too. We're not really starting with ratings or anything. We're just going straight into stuff we like about the book.
Well, as of this recording, we've only read half. Read the first 26 issues. I'm probably going to edit at the beginning our ratings.
Okay, yeah.
Of the whole thing. But so far, I'm liking it a lot.
I am, too.
So my rating will probably be pretty high.
I read 30 pages. Then I read 200 pages. And then I read the rest all in 3 days.
What was the total? Like 570?
571. I was dreading it, but I worked through the pain. Push-ups, sit-ups, and plenty of
Some of it's pretty
juice.
dense, but I found the Renee Montoya sections to be
cool.
Like really easy to read.
Mm-hmm. I really liked those sections too. I liked her and the Question. They made a pretty good duo.
It's pretty cool. So yeah, we've got Booster. He's just like trying to get sponsorships this whole time.
That's the only thing he's doing the hero stuff for. He just wants money and sponsorships.
Yeah.
And who's the girl talking to him there? That's
Fire.
Fire. That's just her name.
She's well, you might not have seen her.
I love this. I love this issue cover.
Yeah.
We got Booster with all his sponsor stuff. Him and Skeets.
Yeah. Fire is right here.
That's when she's actually on Fire.
She used to be a part of Justice League International. So that's how they know her. And so did Booster. Him and like Martian Manhunter and the Blue Beetle.
It ain't a Justice League without Martian Manhunter.
No. Yeah, they said that several times.
That's Firestorm's attempt at bringing back the Justice League. Yeah,
that was pathetic. One of the big plot lines so far has been John Henry Irons' Steel. His niece wants to like.
She wants to join the Teen Titans.
Yeah, she wants to be a character pretty much. She wants to be one of the big dogs, and like because she's being so arrogant with her powers and not being selfless, he takes her armor away because he built it.
Yeah.
And then she runs to Lex Luthor, who's giving out superpowers in his Everyman project.
He's discovered how to unlock the meta gene in certain people. It doesn't work for everyone because he tries to do it for him, but he's incompatible.
Ironically, it doesn't work for him. That was funny.
He's very bad.
Stupid Luthor.
Well, he's not very stupid, but I mean, you get it.
I didn't say unintelligent Luthor. Of course he's intelligent.
He's Lex freaking Luthor.
Anyway, he starts this, like, Lex Justice League.
Yeah, what is it?
Infinity Inc.
Infinity
which
Inc.
has already been taken before. He didn't come up with that.
Yeah, he stole it. That's a copyright frame. We're going to sue Lex Luthor for that.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine that's how he gets taken down. All the superheroes sue him, and
like
for legal reasons he has to
like
give
who,
up.
Al Capone? Well, either one taken down by
tax.
Yeah, tax evasion.
You're up. The gig's up, Luthor. Superman's standing there. We've got you now. You used a copyrighted name for your superhero league, so you're going for a life. Also, oh yeah, this scene. Love this scene.
Oh, when Adam Strange, Animal Man, and Starfire. I always get them mixed up.
Are you dyslexic?
No, there's a Marvel character called Firestar.
There's a Marvel character called Firestar.
Yeah. Starfire.
I mean, I've never not know who Starfire is.
Have you ever watched Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends?
No.
So it's Spider-Man, Iceman, and Firestar. It was a show back in the 80s.
Of course it
Tanner
was.
loved it.
Tanner
probably
loves
heard
all
him talk
this
about
stuff.
it
Yeah,
before.
I think I have. That was in one of his trivia things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was. He picked that over something. I don't remember. Super Friends, I think.
Yeah, and we were like, what?
Yeah.
we couldn't believe it.
But anyway, Starfire, sorry. These three are stranded. They were, I guess, flung to some back world.
It's like some heavenly planet.
Yeah, but like time is slowed down. And I don't know how they even got there. Like the crisis.
It was Zeta Beam. Zeta Beam.
Oh, the Zeta Beam did it?
Yeah, like they were traveling through it and it got like refracted somehow.
Oh yeah.
And there's Red Tornado's hand.
Yeah, didn't Red Tornado get hit by it? That's how he got like blasted into pieces.
Yeah, so different people got all those groups. Like a lot of them appeared back on Earth, but some of them were like missing organs. Like Adam here.
Oh, he lost
both his eyes. Yeah. So he's just trying to fiddle with his ship while he's blind.
He plugs himself into the ship so he can like
see through its sensors. That's how he ends up getting around there.
That's so weird.
Oh yeah,
and Green Lantern Alan Scott, he lost one eye.
Yeah.
And all of that, and his daughter died in the crisis.
And that was in the Rand Thanagar War issue.
Yeah.
And then back on Earth, you've got two Green Lanterns fighting an intergalactic villain.
I can't remember this now.
The Star Guy. Like, the Chinese, I'm pretty sure, just blew him
Evil
up.
Star.
Yeah, Evil Star, whatever.
Wow.
But yeah, so they're doing that, and Black Adam and Kondak have formed this treaty of power. Yep. Is that what it was called? With North Korea, China,
Russia.
They add Russia after this. Like, Russia.
Is that not Russia? Maybe it's not.
No. Russia comes in and actually helps the Green Lanterns, like saying we'll escort them through our airspace. But he gets them later. Yeah, he does. He's like, we're already having talks with Russia.
It's Russia.
Yeah. We will show those dirty Americans.
But Black Adam's whole thing is he doesn't want any superhuman interference in his country. And he wants these other countries to do the same thing. Like, if you have some foreigner that has powers come into your country, that's not okay.
Yeah.
So he's
basically he wants to build a wall.
Yeah, he's preaching secure borders.
Yeah.
A theme that might sound familiar to you.
Might sound familiar to our American viewers. I'm pretty sure all of our
anyone knows.
Yeah, I guess you're right. It appears our superiority has led to
This,
some controversy.
I'll let you know, this has carried over till today. The Black Adam thing.
Yeah.
Because I know in Doomsday Clock right now, one big storyline is him protecting Kahndaq and like securing his borders. So it's still around.
Is Isis and Osiris still there?
I don't know.
That does not bode well if they weren't there for the rest of this book. Then
I don't know.
Guess we'll find out when you see this video.
I'm just waiting.
I'm hoping there's a happy ending there.
I'm just waiting for her to die and then
he's gonna go.
Him go bad again.
Yeah.
Because that's what's gonna happen.
I really hope it doesn't.
I like her a lot. I know. She's cool.
I like her a lot too.
Okay, Wyatt. What other storylines we got? Oh, Booster finds this
Rip Hunter.
Yeah. So we don't get to see him, but he's like
his secret lab.
He's discovered some secret.
He says time is broken, and the person who broke it is Booster.
Yeah, there's a bunch of scribblings on the chalkboard, and he's pointing to Booster Gold, and it's his fault that all this is happening.
Yeah. One of the main divergences, like at the start, Booster shows up, and all the superheroes are meeting at the JLA monument. And he's like, all right, Superman's going to come on down here. He's going to give a speech that's going to be taught in civics classes for the next 5 centuries. And he's going to invite me to join the Justice League.
Yeah.
But that doesn't happen because Superman, Wonder Woman, and Batman are all taking a year vacation.
Mm-hmm.
And that makes Booster go, that's not supposed to happen. Like, he's going off, like, in the middle of this crowd.
Yeah. Then you got Supernova shows up.
Yeah,
that's
Supernova
a cool story.
shows up. Isn't he...
So Clark Kent has lost his powers as of Infinite Crisis. But he's like his boss Perry tells him, get an interview with Supernova so we can get some credibility here. And he's like, okay, but he can't do it. And so Perry fires him. What does Clark do?
He jumps out the window.
He flails himself out of a window.
And Supernova catches him, and he pulls up a tape recorder. He's like, Clark Kent, Daily Planet.
Let's talk.
Perry's like, yep, he's still my crackfire reporter. But I didn't know he lost his powers in Infinite Crisis.
Yeah, that's why he did that. I'm like, that's why he's not doing anything. That's why Superman's not in the book.
Well, I guess all the kryptonite stuff poisoned him. Red Sun.
I think going through the Red Sun might have done it, but I don't know.
Okay, see, because I was not aware that he lost his powers.
Yes, that's the whole reason he's not around.
Okay, that makes a little bit more sense.
Yeah.
Why Batman and Robin are they're just traveling and training?
Yeah, apparently they just went off to find themselves.
Okay.
I guess.
And Wonder Woman is probably Themyscira. What is it called? Themyscira.
Themyscira. Themyscira, yes. You got it.
Finally. But one of my favorite parts about this book is the Renee Montoya and the question story.
See, I've always thought the Question was like this mysterious guy.
I looked him up on the wiki because I didn't know who Charlie was because that's all he was referred to. He's apparently in the DC universe the second greatest detective behind Batman.
Okay.
Look, that's his shtick. I also learned that several times throughout the book, he talks to Renee about how bad smoking is for you.
Yeah. And
he himself has terminal lung cancer from smoking.
He does?
Yeah, that's what it said on the wiki. Look, he got it. And then yeah.
I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm. So he might die sometime at the end of this.
One part I like. So Black Adam is like trying to get another country to join his coalition thing. Yeah. And they bring him a prize.
No, that was Intergang.
Like a gift.
That was
Intergang?
Yeah, they were trying to use Kahndaq as a way to smuggle weapons through into the Middle East from Africa. Yeah, right. And they were like, we have a lot of money and the most beautiful version of all of Egypt. And he's like, I say no. And he just kills both of the ambassadors and sets her free.
And they sent her brother.
Yeah, they killed her family and
sold him into slavery.
They said they sold him into slavery.
And then he's being
experimented on.
He's being like brainwashed. They're trying to brainwash him with the
doesn't take.
What was that called? The thing with Whisper Adair.
I don't know what it was called.
Stupid name. I don't know. Anyway,
My Coke is bubbling.
that's nice. He says, I don't know what he sees in her, like, but he just, you know what? I'm gonna make you Isis. The
Well, that's not
goddess.
what happens first. Like she says that you shouldn't be doing all this, like the whole Treaty of Power thing. You should be using your powers to help people. You know, all right, well, how? And she like tells him what to do, and like he like uses his powers to divert a river to people who are suffering from a drought. So he saves hundreds of lives doing that, and he does other stuff like that. And like she's basically directing him to do such good things, and that's why he decides to make her Isis, because he thinks she deserves it. And he goes to the Stone of Power, Stone of Eternity
Rock?
The Eternity Rock, yes.
The
Stone of Power, Eternity Rock. Anyway, so and Shazam is there.
And he gives her this amulet thing, and she becomes the goddess Isis.
Not Shazam, Billy. Billy is there. He's the one who's guarding it now, and he's watching over the 7 deadly sins. And when she shows up, he's like, "Whoa, calm down there, Lust." Oh yeah, this is crazy. Another arc in this book.
So we mentioned before
Ralph
how
Dibny.
Ralph's wife's grave was defaced by this like Superman resurrection cult thing.
And he's tracking them down as...
Apparently, if you flip the S upside down, it stands for resurrection.
Yeah.
So they're like,
It's confusing language.
we want to use this to resurrect Superboy, but we need to test it on someone first.
One of the main members of it is Cassie, Wonder Girl, who is
Yeah.
Superboy's love
Who's
interest.
driven by grief at this point.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, let us test it on Sue. And he's like, well, you're not going to get any resistance from me. I'll help you.
Yeah, I'll help you. And he decides to bring forth every superhero he knows that's been resurrected. And like he's talking to him like throughout the whole thing. And they're like, this is crazy, dude. It's just cultists. And they're like, really? All of you have been brought back from the dead. So, I mean, that's why I asked you here, to make sure that this is on the up and up. And they talk, they're like, oh, it's all fake, dude. Trust us. It's all fake. And he's like, okay, I believe you. So he throws the cult rock of kryptonite, like, what was it, red kryptonite?
Blood kryptonite.
Blood kryptonite.
Yeah.
And it gets crushed. And then they start fighting and basically ending all the cults, and they restrain Cassie. But then they had it like a doll of wearing Sue's clothes and had her, like, face, like, put on like a mask.
Mm-hmm.
And it was laying there for the big resurrection, and it, like, almost worked. Like, it was halfway there because...
Well, Ralph stopped them because he didn't think it was working.
Yeah, but then guess what?
But then she grabs onto his
The
robe
body.
and she's actually half alive. And then he's like, oh no, what have I done? And he says, stop. And then the guy in charge, he's like, Ralph says, bring her back. You know, keep doing it. And he's like, you destroyed the blood kryptonite.
So we can't do it anymore.
And something else they needed, I don't remember. And...
This is so sad.
So he's just holding this straw woman, going, try again. Try again.
Ralph is so sad.
It
I
is
feel so bad for
crazy.
Ralph.
So then he, like, meets up with,
Dr. Fate.
what was the Detective Chimp group called?
The Shadow Pact.
Yeah, that's
He meets
it.
up with the Shadow Pact.
With
Our favorite chimp.
Detective Chimp.
Yeah. I love him, though. He's great.
So then he gets, like, there's a whole thing with Dr. Fate's helmet. You know how it flew off and...
It landed on a guy named Tim.
Yeah.
And, like, he was found dissolved.
He wasn't really ready for the power, though, so he, like, turned into water.
Yeah. Well, it ends
A
up...
puddle of water.
The Dr. Fate helmet ends up with Ralph. Like, they're in Egypt. And it starts talking to him, and he's like, all right, you're going to take me on this trial run? To do these trials, a big journey? He's like, yep. So follow me.
So the helmet is like his guide in the afterlife.
And he walks off, and the Shadow Pack people are like, does he think that helmet's talking to him? Like, they can't hear it.
Yeah, for a minute I was like, okay, so is he crazy?
Yeah, I was like, did
What's
Ralph
going
go
on?
insane?
But it actually happened. Like,
And he is ruthless. Like, he goes to, like, the gate of the underworld, and he, like, feeds the guard this stuff that makes him elastic, and it's gonna snap all his bones and
that
organs
was
unless he
cool.
lets him in.
So the stuff that gives Ralph his powers, Chin Gold, he has to drink it, right?
Mm.
And he hasn't done it in a while, so he's not like doing it. he doesn't have his elastic powers. He hasn't had them for years, but he has some with him, and gives it to that guard and uses it to like tie him up in a ball. He's like, well, this could go one of two ways. You can tell me how to get in here and let me go, or I can sit here and watch your bones crack
and your organs
and puncture organs.
Yeah. So you be
as you die an agonizing death.
Yeah. So your choice. And he's like, all right, fine.
All right, just go.
There's so many plots going on at the same time. We're going every way.
And like what I like about this book is that they're not all separate. They're interlink.
They're interconnected by intergang.
Oh my god. Intergang is like the common thread, but
we forgot to talk about one thing.
Yeah, the part where Renee saves the day.
Well, I wasn't going to say that. We have a lot to talk about.
Oh, what were you going to talk about?
So far, all of these mad scientist villains have been like kidnapped from where they were. Like the creator of the Metal Men is talking to the one that's locked up in Haven. What's his name?
T.O. Morrow.
Yeah, Dr. Morrow, or Professor Morrow, whatever.
Get it tomorrow?
Yes, I get it. I get it, my friend.
Yeah.
Yes. So anyway, Dr. Wilson, who is Morrow's student, is still visiting him a lot in the prison. Like he talks to him a lot, and one day he goes there.
You mean Magnus? Will Magnus?
Yeah, Will Magnus, not Wilson.
Creator of the Metal Men.
Yeah, I did say creator of the Metal Men.
Okay.
Sorry. I get names
mixed
up. Okay. They're getting kidnapped and taken. And he goes to visit one day, and this mad scientist dude, another one, like rushes out. He's like, you can't hold me. And he like freezes a mailman with a freeze ray. and he's like, oh. And he gets like retaken and captured. Like, oh, this is normal. Sometimes they get out. Well, he goes to visit Morrow and he's gone.
Mm-hmm.
He's disappeared. He's up.
I like all the visits between them.
Yeah, they have really cool conversations.
Because like Magnus is a good guy.
Mm-hmm.
Morrow's always been a bad guy. But I like how they have this dynamic like teacher and student type thing. It's pretty cool.
Well, anyway, soon enough, Wilson. Well, no. The big thing is Morrow leaves a note for him, and it tells him how to redo the Metal Men and create their personalities again.
Mm-hmm.
So when he does that, the government with their own Metal Men that don't have personalities comes after him because he wasn't going to give it to them. Was it the government or Intergang? It could have been the government, or it could have been Intergang. I don't know. But so one of those two.
I think it's probably the government.
Probably. Well, he has Mercury with him, and Mercury is able to beat one of them.
Like the least useful Metal Man he could have had.
Yeah. Well, he keeps going on. He's like, I'm the only metal that's liquid at room temperature.
Good for you.
Yeah. And so he also takes on some of himself, and does it really cool because he's like just throws vials of chemicals on him and causes him to dissolve.
He has a way to beat each one. You got like iron, lead, and
lead's the
platinum.
one that wins. Like it beats Mercury, and then this other big thing shows up, and it's like a big old laser.
This big thing that looks exactly like a Sentinel from the X-Men comes in and captures him and takes him to this island.
He wakes up on a tropical island, and Morrow is there. He's like, Margarita?
So Intergang has all of these mad scientists on this island, and they're trying to get them to build... What are they trying to build?
The Four Horsemen Project.
That's right.
And
I gotta go to that page with that weird egg thing.
Yeah. This guy.
Yellow bug. We'll get to that later.
Yeah. But, well, he wakes up on a beach. There's bikini babes everywhere and a bunch of mad scientists just chilling. And he's like, no, I won't do it. And he's like waving his pills around. Like, I take these so I don't go crazy. I'm not a mad scientist.
Mm-hmm.
But he ends up, working on it. And they end up bringing a female scientist in. And, I mean, they've been around all these, like, bikini chicks and all. But then this female scientist...
that was weird.
This female scientist comes in, and she talks, like, science talk. And After she does that, all the scientists are like, "You want to share a web space? Here, use this. I have the parts you need." Yeah.
Oh yeah. So giant Eggman.
Who looks like the annoying orange, but on crack.
He kinda does. I have no idea who this is.
What if his power is just, guess what? Knife. And just giant knife comes down. Oh, that's decade-old internet humor right there. Maybe not a decade, but it was like the heyday of YouTube.
One of the big things that happens is, so Black Adam asks Isis to marry him.
Yeah.
Right. And so they're getting married in front of the whole city. It's a big crowd.
And Renee and the Question, they went to Kahndaq because they know Intergang is connected somehow. And they actually get framed for murder because they go to meet with a contact and everyone in the building's dead, along with a bunch of rat poison. And rat poison is used when you make bombs because it's an anticoagulant. So when it blows up and goes around everywhere, if you get nicked, you'll bleed to death. So that's their whole thing. So that's how Renee knows it's one bomb, because there's only 3 boxes of rat poison, and that's enough for one bomb. She knows this off the top of her head.
She's a cop.
Yeah. So, yeah, former detective. So they're going through the crowd trying to find who it is, and they do find it, and it's a girl, just like a young girl. And she has the bomb, and Renee's trying to stop her, but she's not going to get there in time. So she has to take the shot with her space gun, her like laser pistol she finds in an Intergang warehouse, and shoots her, and she's just overwhelmed by guilt.
She wasn't gonna do it, and Question's like, "You've got to take the shot. We're all gonna die if you don't." And she's like, "Oh," which I mean, really?
It's a kid,
but really?
I mean, yeah,
really?
Yeah. I mean, I understand, but I mean, some people, they're just not hard enough.
This is just me. If somebody's about to kill themselves anyway, and the only way I can save everyone around me and myself is to kill them first before they kill themselves. Bang. I mean, it's a no-brainer for me.
He's yeah, as you say, with all your experiences killing kids.
Yeah, all that CIA experience.
Shut up.
Tom King, he was in the CIA. Did you know that?
I did not.
Yeah.
Fact. Apparently. What'd he do?
Dude, I don't know.
If we knew, he'd have to kill us.
Yeah.
He would just comment on our video. I'm gonna have to kill you for that.
No, it's common knowledge he was in the CIA, but I think that adds another dynamic to his stories. Because of that experience. He brings in some of it in his stories.
Well, anyway, back to the story. So Renee is overridden by guilt for doing this. And, of course, Black Adam and ISIS and their government is, like, overjoyed. They're like, you're superheroes. Not superheroes, because they don't... Well, I mean, Question's a superhero. Renee's just a cop. But she does superhero things now. Anyway. So they're going to give them medals. The highest award they can give to a non-Kahndaqi. That's what I'm going with. So, Question shows up to the ceremony, but Renee doesn't, and that makes Black Adam pissed. And he busts through a wall of her hotel room, and she's there with another woman on a bender with lots of alcohol around. And he's like mad at her because she's guilty over it. She's guilty over it and mad at him because he busted down her wall and interrupted her lovey-dovey time. But ISIS managed to calm them both down, as does the Question.
Later on, Renee and the Question are going to Nanda Parbat, right? So that's like the place where Batman climbed a mountain and learned all the martial arts.
They're learning from... Is the Red Dragon guy is the one who taught Batman too?
I have no idea who this guy is.
It was on the wiki. He trained...
Richard Dragon.
Yeah, Richard Dragon. He trained the Question in his own style of martial arts, which is how...
Which makes sense.
Yeah. And the Question is, like, on his abilities, the wiki said he was advanced hand-to-hand.
Yeah. So. And, like, throughout their part of the story, he keeps saying to Renee, like, you've
Who
got
are
this
you?
power that you don't know about.
Yeah, he's like, you got to find out who you are.
Yeah. And so she's like, whatever this means.
And Isis says the same thing to her.
Yeah. I remember the part when Richard goes, going down is easy, going down the mountain, and he said, but when you hit the bottom, right up till you hit the bottom, the hard part is climbing up again.
Yeah.
And she's like, what does that mean? And Charlie goes,
It means training's in
that
session.
means
Yeah.
classes in session. So apparently she's going to learn some cool martial arts stuff from this guy. So that'll be
Wonder,
fun
does
to
she
see.
ever get a alter ego?
I know what happens to her just because I've like accidentally seen
It's
it.
with Batwoman, isn't it? It's connected to her.
No.
It's not.
No.
Oh, I get it. Because in one of the animated movies, she's still a detective, and Batwoman is patrolling around. But when she's not being Batwoman, they're dating.
Yeah, that was a
Yeah.
thing. Well, like they dated before.
Oh yeah, Batwoman's Lana Kane.
She's Kate.
Kate Kane.
Yeah.
Lana Kane is a character from Archer.
Okay.
I get names mixed up all the time.
But that's pretty much everything important that's happened so far in half of 52.
This is a bit jambled.
So we're gonna read the second half and let you know what happens and what we think about it. It'll be a week for us, but for you it'll only be a couple seconds. So we'll see you next week.
Bye. Toodaloo.
Whew. All right, this time travel is wearing me out. I don't know about
Yeah.
you.
It's easier for me since I'm Booster Gold.
Yeah. All right, so we're going to talk about issues 27 to 52 now. So, I think the first half does a great job of setting things up.
Oh, definitely.
It's very interesting.
And it sets up a lot
and
of twists.
It's like solid, but the back half is twist
after twist after twist. It's like it was directed by M. Night Shyamalan.
It's so good. Like it makes it worth reading 52 issues. They definitely were in it for the long haul with this one.
This was a year-long journey.
Yeah.
They got this out during Christmas week. They didn't go home to their families. They worked on
I read
this.
with one guy, the editor. He had to work on this on his wedding day.
Are you kidding me?
No.
Daggum. That's dedication.
And he
right
got
there.
it out too. He had to get it
How
out to print
pissed?
on
How
time.
pissed was his wife, though? Like when he's like, "I'm sorry, honey, I'm gonna be a little bit late to the wedding. I got to work on a comic book of all things." She was pissed. He slept on the couch
It's
for the
work.
honeymoon.
It's not like it's his hobby.
I know, but I mean, you know, she'd be pissed. He slept on the couch on their honeymoon, probably.
All right, so here in issue 27, it starts off with Ralph Dibny, right? So I'm not gonna get into like the whole journey. We know that he's trying to bring Sue back, and he's going
There's
through
twist on this thing.
He's going through like every method that he can think of to bring her back. He finally decides on this one spell, which involves the Helmet of Fate.
Yeah, the whole time he's been going after all these methods, the Helmet of Fate is there as his spirit guide, pretty much. So the twist, when it came out, was all too like, whoa. Like that one hit me upside the head.
He reveals that he knew that the Helmet of Fate wasn't really what it said it was. It was Felix Faust. Which he showed himself in hell, which was pretty cool.
Yeah.
I like that. Anyway, so he's doing a spell, right, to bring her back.
And the way he works the spell is he wears the helmet and he pulls out a gun and he has to shoot himself in the head because it's the gun of wishing. Like what you wish when you fire a bullet. And maybe the wish comes true.
That also explains when we saw earlier Ralph was about to shoot himself.
Yeah, I wish Sue was back.
But he wasn't really going to kill himself. He was just trying to make a wish.
Yeah.
So that was a good way to kind of fix that.
Yeah, because I thought he was suicidal.
Yeah, which he probably was.
Yeah.
But, so he's like, yeah, I knew it was you the whole time.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, you're smarter than me. And he's like, I'm the greatest detective.
He is a very good detective. Especially, he goes, for one thing, he needs like an artifact that's in Haven. Like that guy's wheelchair wheel is like this silver magic thing. And he goes into Morrow's cell, because remember, Morrow was freed by Intergang. He's like, so these cameras you installed, I bet they were installed by an Intergang company. See these scratches? That's teleportation technology. Boom. Case solved. Just straight up automatically knows.
Yeah. Here's a scene from like the time travel side of it.
Mm-hmm.
I like how they put in Wave Rider.
Yeah, Wave Rider from that terrible
from 0 Hour.
Yeah.
At least we're rewarded.
Yeah.
With this couple pages.
His haircut looks stupid.
Yeah. It's not really hair though, it's like energy.
Yeah, I guess.
Trying to think what else happened. Oh, the whole Intergang story kind of ties off with
Morrow's story and Black Adam's.
Yeah, like they
and
all
Renee's.
come together.
Yeah, everything except Boosters.
The thing going on with Renee and the Question, the Question has cancer.
Yeah.
And he's dying, and he's like going delirious, and he can't move or take care of himself. And she takes him back to Nanda Parbat to try to save him, and he ends up dying on the way there.
Yeah, they originally left because she figured out that the Intergang, their religion is called the Book of Crime. It's pretty much a Bible, but I mean, instead it's all about crime and different crimes and how they reverberate it. There was a prophecy that Manaheim, the leader of Intergang, was going to rip out Batwoman's heart, who is Kate Kane.
Kate Kane.
Kate Kane. And that's one of Renee's love interests that she was with before.
Yep.
So she's got to go back and save her, warn her about it. I love how she and Charlie get her attention. They fire up a bat signal in the middle of Gotham. Yeah. She's like, turn that off, like when she arrives.
Yeah. So, the Question, his name's Charlie. Mm-hmm. So Charlie dies, and she's just overcome with grief again because she's lost another partner. Her whole story in this was that she was going through the loss of, was it Crispus Allen?
Mm-hmm. Was
her last used to partner. Be the Spectre.
Huh? It's her last partner.
Yeah.
Yeah, on the GCPD.
Yeah, that's why she quit. Now she's lost another partner, and she like trains with that Richard Dragon guy, and trying to find out who she's supposed to be, and she eventually becomes the Question.
Yeah, because the answer to that question is, that's a question. Like, it was really cool. Like, in Nanda Parbat, she was supposed to go into, like, this sanctum, and she goes in with a candle, and, like, everything else is, like, in the darkness, and she blows it out, and the smoke forms a question mark.
Yeah. But getting back to
back to Animal Man, Coriander, Starfire,
and
Adam Strange, they have come into contact with a intergalactic bounty hunter called Lobo, who has now...
the main man.
Yeah, the biker. I like him. He's cool, and he's kind of funny. But he's apparently taken a vow to the triple fish god to...
It's so stupid.
But it's actually a fish. It's this space dolphin thing.
I know.
But he kills it.
He loves space dolphins. Like, did you know that? He has a thing for space dolphins. Like, it's his favorite thing.
Literally?
Yeah.
Did not know this.
Yeah.
I'm looking up Lobo.
He loves space dolphins.
You continue. I'm looking up Lobo on the DC app.
You're going to find some funny stuff.
I am.
Anyway.
His real name, unpronounceable.
Not really that much happens with this, but that whole... What was it called? That eye he had?
The eye of...
I don't remember.
Eye of...
It's not gonna be there.
You don't know that.
I do.
Eye of Antiope, Eye of Armageddon, Eye of Horus. That's from Warhammer. Dang, he has a lot of powers. Gosh almighty.
Are you ready?
He also has many abilities.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
The Emerald Eye of Ekron.
Ekron.
So Ekron is just this giant floating head through space.
It's also a Green Lantern, apparently.
I guess.
Yeah.
But like, the eye itself is like a Green Lantern core weapon. It's really old. When
Buddy, those two aliens rescued Buddy, they talked about it.
Yeah.
I think they were from the Guardians or something. It was an ancient Owen plasma weapon that, while not as efficient as their rings, is still very powerful. And it was prophesized as, this is really funny, because Lobo steals this eye from the Green Lanterns and pretty much goes on a pilgrimage to bring it back to his god. And he brings it back and is before them. He's like, I have arrived, the trip to the triple fish god. And the fish god is like, it was prophesied that this eye is the only thing that can kill me, so I'm going to keep it close. And Lobo goes, oh, really? And he shoots him with it. Just straight up murders him.
Which, the whole time he's like really devoted to it. But then I guess he just got tired of being a pacifist. So
when they fought Lady Styx, like he goes, the quote's on here actually, he says, darn, I went past it, where is it? He says, I killed every living thing on Caesarnia for fun. I killed Santa Claus and the Easter Bunny and things that don't even exist. And so help me, I tried to follow the triple-fold path of peace. I tried my best, but frag me for a Bastich. Even I got limits.
I love you reading those words you don't know.
Bastich. Bastich. He says it all the time.
Bastich.
He's going through this whole thing, and he wears like a bishop cardinal hat.
Gosh, that was so dumb.
It's so funny though.
All right, so we talked about the Kate Kane stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So in this part, Animal Man gets killed by like this virus thing. Well, he did die. Like he died. And then these aliens find him. I don't know what they were exactly.
I don't either, because
they looked familiar.
Like he wakes up and sees them, and they go, so it begins. And I was like, whoa, this is gonna be really important. Not really. Maybe in a future comic, but
I'll try to find it, but who knows? There he's still alive. That's Booster. Okay,
yeah, we've got to apologize to Booster.
So there's those guys.
So if someone in the comments know who those are, put it down below.
Yeah.
They teach him how to harness the power of Star Eaters.
Yeah.
Which makes him really powerful.
Mm-hmm. Like he goes all the way back to Earth and he's shining like the sun.
He's like, I'm still supercharged with solar power. So he pretty much becomes Superman if he's powered by the sun. A bit. I mean, I guess he can get those powers anytime he's in a solar system.
Well, anytime he's near a Sun Eater.
Well,
he takes the powers of animals around him. Yeah.
So were there Sun Eaters?
There were Sun Eaters around him.
Okay.
That's how he pulled from. Like I think it showed some in the distance.
Okay, gotcha.
So he comes back. He's alive again, and he goes home, and he gets to be back with his wife again.
Those weird aliens showed him this time thing, her with another man.
Yeah.
But I mean, she wasn't doing anything with him. Like he was like, "Good thing you finally got over your grief." She's like, "Yeah, I did."
They leave it on a cliffhanger. He's like, "Is that a man's hand?"
He's like, "I gotta go."
Yeah.
But yeah, she wasn't doing anything.
Important.
Yeah. So he comes back home, and he gets home. They're having a party, like, cause hey, I made it. Mm-hmm. So, and then there's a knock on the door, and Ellen opens. She's like, buddy. And there's these like alien bounty hunters there for her, but then Starfire shows up and just uses her powers and
She
kills him.
vaporizes
Yeah,
them.
and she shows up and she's like, Miss, what's her name, Ellen?
Yeah.
Yeah, Ellen, my name is Coriander. I'm a princess. I've brought your late husband's jacket. And then she falls asleep like there on the ground, and he's still alive. He's like, oh, and his son shows up and looks at her. He's like, whoa, she's like E.T., but she's got double D's. Double DD, more like double DDs is what he said. And I remember chuckling. That was a good one.
And the wife said, like, did someone order a stripper?
Yeah,
He's like, this is the Princess of Tambourine.
He's like, no, this is a princess.
Yeah, it was funny. We talked about Montoya and how she becomes the question. Oh, the whole thing with Infinity Inc. We haven't gotten to this yet.
Yeah.
So, you know how Luther's got his Everyman project going, everybody's getting superpowers.
Yeah, and there's the one guy who's actually named Everyman, because if he eats something, he can transform into him.
Yeah, it's really weird.
And there's a really weird conversation between several members, Natasha and
her boyfriend.
And, well...
Yeah, oh, yeah.
And the Joy girl? What's her name? Jade. It's Jade. That was her name. And she's like, I think every man's been transforming into things and staying in my room. So yeah, and they're like, I think he does it to everyone too. And they're like, yeah, I'll talk to him. And he walks away and he transforms into every man. At first, because every man's bald, he looked like Luther. And I was like, whoa. That's really weird, but no, it wasn't Luther.
Yeah. That part was really creepy.
Yeah, and Natasha, she ends up listening to Uncle John about Luther, who he's discovered that Luther has an off switch for all their powers that he gives out. Like, he can turn them off in any way.
Because it happened to him. Like, he gave him, like, a steel covering, and then one day it just fell off. It's like, these powers have an expiration date.
Yeah, it'll kill you, too. Like, after 6 months, I think, is when it eats away human bodies because they aren't acclimated to them, I guess. No, he said something about that.
No, it just meant that, like, if you're using your powers and you really need them and they go away, you could die.
No, there was another thing, like 6 months and you expire. Oh, trust me on this.
It happened to him, is what I'm saying.
I know, but he also discovered that, because Luther turned him off, but he also discovered that it'll kill you if you keep it for like 6 months.
I don't remember that.
He says, yeah, but maybe you should think that thank us. The everyman treatment is toxic. It was eating you up inside. In 6 months, you'd be dead. So I just saved your life, Luther. Saving lives is what I do.
Oh, I didn't get to see that cover.
That is a cool cover. So did he actually become...
Yeah. Yeah.
Then how did he get to that room where he hid away? Like, remember, they were taking him away, but then Clark was like, no, that's not him. Follow me, Chief Irons. And he leads them to this room, and they open up, and Luther's there.
Yeah?
Like, how did he go from being chained up with the irons to...
That was Everyman.
So when he took away his powers, that was Everyman?
No.
Then
that was Luther.
Then how did they swap?
No. Like, when they were arrested and all that stuff, they got mixed up.
Okay.
Yeah. No, wait. They defeated him, but they didn't, like, take him in. It was more like a civil trial thing.
Oh, and they were, like, going after him.
This was, like, a couple days later.
Yeah, like, highly publicized, like, join us live at Lex Tower, where he is being arrested for many charges.
Yeah. Yeah.
Here he comes. Lex, what have you been charged with? Paparazzi everywhere, that sort of thing. That'd be good paparazzi. I'd hide in a ghillie suit in Hollywood just taking pictures. We were talking about Everyman.
Okay.
Like, we finished talking about Everyman, and we talked about how the program was toxic, and that I guess we'll get on to him turning off and having the reign of the Superman.
That's what I'm going to start with. Okay. So, in this time of comics, it was New Year's, right? So they do an issue about New Year's. They have everybody going to watch the ball drop and all that stuff.
The Superman sign drop.
And everybody with powers is like flying around the city. They're all gathering together. Well, Luther goes, Click.
And turns off everyone's powers, so it becomes the literal reign of the Supermen.
Thousands of people falling from the sky and dying.
Lex is very evil.
It was very. I love this splash page. It's so cool.
And just before this, we see Supernova talking to Ralph, and that made me think. Riley hates me for this, but it made me think he was related to someone, and this sealed the deal because of the power he used. I was like, yeah, this has got to be it.
What power though?
He teleported everyone,
Oh yeah.
and it was all golden.
Mm-hmm.
So if you haven't guessed by now, like
Fair
Riley,
Whatever.
someday you'll be as good a detective as me.
No, why? Stop. So everybody's dying, right? Another thing with Luther was when, like, this whole time the project is going on, he's wanting to have powers of his own, and he's like really pissed off that he doesn't like mesh with the project.
Yeah, the scientists have been lying to him the entire time.
I was getting there.
I'm sorry.
So, frustrated by this, Luther hears from one of his assistants that this guy is dying because the treatment isn't working on him. And his body is actively fighting it, and it's killing him. And he comes back later and goes, "Good news, Mr. Luther. There's a gene in his system that's like adapted to it, and so he can take it now, and he'll live." He's like, he's gonna pull through, and Luther's like, "Very good news."
Now write up an obituary. He literally...
He's like, now harvest all of his organs and write up a good obituary.
He just like was staring there with like a cup of hot cocoa going, "You know what, Mercy? All I want for Christmas is a Christmas miracle." "Good news, sir! That is good news. Now write a good obituary and suck out all of his organs."
Gosh. That is the most evil thing I've ever seen him do. Probably. The Reign of the Superman was pretty evil, but that was evil.
Yeah, little boy pulling through. He did it. He fought the cancer.
Yeah.
But then Lex killed him.
So that happens, and he finally gets these powers. Well, later on, he finds out that his head scientist has been lying to him and telling him that the thing didn't work on him, but it really did.
And Natasha is looking into it. Like, she looks in his office, like, trying to find evidence of how he can turn off the super gene. But when she comes in, he's like, "No, you have to get out of here now." And his office blows up. Because he was going to kill himself or burn all his research and whatnot. But she...
Oh, yeah, the head scientist, yeah.
She was up on the roof, and Mercy comes in, and she's like, "We have to get out of here. Which the lab is sealed. We can let the fire burn out." "No, we have to save everything." So they do.
Yeah. They saved a little bit.
Yeah, tad.
And then, so Luther immediately gets powers after that. After he finds out that he can. And who does he become?
He gets all of Superman's powers. This guy.
I am Superman. Then he has this really cool fight with, before the fight.
Natasha.
Yeah, he gets Natasha to go in this room because every man is pretending to be her boyfriend. He's a shapeshifter.
Yeah, and in the room...
And he guides her to this table, and it's her boyfriend laying there
with his leg missing.
His leg and arm missing.
He's been eating him because he's a cannibal.
Yeah, so he ate that.
And he even says, "You're a really good kisser, Natasha."
Gosh, that's creepy.
It's creepy as crap.
So yeah, it just ends with him laying on the operating table dead. I was like, what? Then Luther comes in and beats the crap out of her. Like, her face is bleeding in all kinds of different places.
And he sends a taunting message to Dr. Irons.
Mm-hmm.
And like, she's like, "Don't come, it's a trap." And he's like, "Call the Titans. We're going in."
Yeah.
And he does.
I mean, John knows it's a trap.
Yeah.
But he has to go anyway.
So they bust in, fight what's left of Infinity Inc. that are loyal to Luther.
It's the air.
Okay. Thought that was the alien in the ducks. I caused the specter to
Look
fall.
at what you've done to the specter.
Darn. He's wanting vengeance. No! So, yeah, they bust through, fight those guys, and then he's like, did the police chief say that they'd evacuated all the floors except above this one? They're like, I think so. He just flies through there with his hammer, busting through the floors.
That part was funny.
That was pretty funny.
So then he has a cool fight with Everyman.
Yeah,
Everyman turns into a giant crab.
Yeah,
and
he was
tries
pretending to
grab
be
him.
Natasha.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I knew it wasn't her, though.
Then, yeah, of course, because she wasn't all
acting
beat
like her.
up.
She wasn't acting like herself
Yeah,
either.
she wasn't all beat up.
Yeah. Okay. So then Everyman turns into this giant crab and grabs him.
Mm-hmm.
But
He's
John like breaks the crab's claw, and then he turns back into a person. He's like,
"Ah, my hand!" Yeah, John is ripped.
Yeah.
I would not want to mess with that
Dude's
man.
pretty muscular.
He's very muscular.
So he gets through Everyman pretty easily, and then he goes to fight Luther, who has the powers of Superman.
So that does not go well.
So John Steel is not really steel anymore. So he used to be made of steel.
And he lost his armor in the Everyman fight.
Yeah. Yeah, he did. He was wearing armor when he came in.
He busts in just jeans and a hammer.
Yeah, pretty much.
I was like, is the Gallagher convention here?
And Luther's like, what are you going to do? I'm Superman. And he grabs John's hammer and like thrusts it through his chest.
And the hammer breaks, and he leads John away, but Natasha gets free, and she's looking at the hammer. She's like, I can do something with this. Like, she reverses the polarity or whatever.
Reverse the polarity of the neutron flow.
Remember Doctor Who when they did that all with their sonics, but they were reversing each other's? They were like, oh, one of us needs to do it.
So his hammer is like not just a hammer; it has like tech in it.
Yeah.
Is it like EMP tech or something like that?
It was something to disable the powers.
Yeah. But she creates like an electromagnetic pulse out of it.
Mm-hmm.
So she's like trying to overload it and kind of blast Luther.
And she does.
Yes.
And he loses his powers. And John says a really cool thing. He says, you know, actually, that power's treatment is toxic. 6 months and you would have died. So, really, Luther, I just saved your life. Because saving lives is what I do. So, yeah, that wraps up the Everyman storyline.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I didn't realize that remember when Renee is still in Nanda Parbat and she's talking to that random woman? I didn't know that random woman was
Diana?
Yeah, it was Diana.
Yeah, I didn't either. Couldn't tell.
Renee immediately flirts with her, too.
I know.
So what's a girl like you doing in Nanda Parbat?
It's like, really?
I was like, you go, Renee.
I don't know what storyline I want to talk about next.
There's so many.
There are a lot.
Alright, so at the end of the last volume, because we read it in 2 volumes, Osiris, who's Adriana's...
He befriends a crocodile.
He befriends a crocodile, but unfortunately, that crocodile was made by Thaddeus, a super scientist that is one of the biggest enemies of the Marvel family.
Wasn't he one of the 4 horsemen?
Yes, he was. He was Famine.
Okay. I thought so.
And he has this, like, childlike innocence about him, like, the whole time. And
the whole time you're just like, well, this guy's cool.
Yeah.
He's just like a kid.
He's like a friend he's like Osiris's really only friend that he has, like, his own age. So Osiris gets to join...
Show you what it looks like.
Well, Osiris gets to join the Teen Titans, finally, after they prove that the Black Marvel family, they're cool. But unfortunately, Amanda the Waller Amanda the Waller doesn't think that the Black Marvels can be trusted. So she forms a Suicide Squad, and she's expecting that one of them's going to kill one of the Suicide Squad. And she's going to televise it and edit it to make it look like they enjoy it. So yeah, one of the Suicide Squad, I can't remember who, has Isis on the ground, and he's like got his axe to her cheek and is like drawing blood, and Osiris is like, "Get away from my sister!" And he like flies through him and like turns him all bloody, kills him, just like turns him into hamburger pretty much.
It looks like when Obi-Wan sliced Darth Maul in half.
Yeah.
That's what that reminds me of. Just that I can't find it anyway.
Remember when Skeets ate the whole Phantom Zone thing? I saw it flash.
Ate the Phantom Zone.
Mr. Mind, remember they tried
Mr. Mind ate the Phantom Zone.
But he was in Skeet's body.
Yeah.
I just saw it when you were flipping through, and it's like, I remember. You remember that?
I remember. So that's when he ate it.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, he's friends with this goofy crocodile dude.
Yeah.
And
so he kills that guy thanks to Amanda the Waller and the Suicide Squad.
But then he gets like really sad.
Yeah, he gets really depressed about it. Like that guilt weighs on him. And as soon as that happens,
so much that he like Kahndaq is like going through famine and
cursed.
Endless rain. And
the rain causes all their plants, the Isis grew, to die.
Yeah, everything's going wrong.
There's disease.
People are dying.
Yeah.
And Osiris thinks it's his fault. He thinks like, oh, because I'm sad.
He thinks it's his powers. Like
you know how thing is happening.
You know how Isis can grow things and stuff. He probably thinks that he's causing all this. Mm-hmm. Like his powers are entrenched. So he tries to get them to take away his powers, like for good, and they won't. And he says, "All right, okay, we'll do this together." But he's like to Sobek, the crocodile.
Yeah, him and Sobek are together, and he's like, you know what? I'm just gonna change to my normal self. I know I won't be able to walk, but that's my penance for what I've done. So he says Black Adam, which is really stupid.
Yeah, I think that's awesome.
I hate that he doesn't say Shazam like they do, but he has to say Black Adam. So he says it.
I love how Black Adam is defeated.
He says it turns into a regular guy, and Sobek's holding him, because he can't walk.
Yeah.
And next page, Sobek takes a huge bite out of him, like. Let me find it.
No, it's after that, because that's when Isis died. No, you're right. You're right. There's his body. Jeez. So yeah.
Sobek? I was not expecting.
I wasn't either. That blew me away.
Then this
I should have expected
bloody carnage red page.
I should have expected this, because where did they find Sobek?
Man, that was a twist.
It was a twist.
Oh, it's Savannah's place.
Yeah.
Dr. Savannah.
Who was one of the main villains of the Marvel family. I was like, anything he made cannot be good.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
I didn't even think about that.
See, that one slipped through me. I need to take off my detective hat.
So he dies. Black Adam gets super pissed and goes after like all the Four Horsemen. So
yeah, they show up.
Inner Gang has, with the help of the evil scientists on the island.
And Chu Zong, who is one of the Great Ten.
Yeah. Chung Su? Chung Su? It's something like that.
Chu Zong or Chung Zu.
I don't know.
Ching Chung.
He's a giant egg man.
Yeah.
Yeah. They have brought about the coming of the Four Horsemen. And, like, they're all in Kahndaq. And Black Adam just goes off on them and kills all of them. Right?
Yeah, but Isis is mortally wounded. And the last thing she says is, I was wrong. We can't be better than them. You were right. You have to kill them. Her last words are, avenge me. And Black Adam goes batshit crazy.
He kills, like, pretty much a whole nation.
Yeah, because the Four Horsemen go through that nation because, well, the one horseman, Death, that's the only one left because he kills all of them but Death.
And he kills Death.
He becomes Death.
I am Death. That's what he says.
Yes.
That part was cool. I hated that he, like, killed a bunch of innocent people.
Even the Atom Smasher with the JSA, because he was a former member of the JSA, so they felt morally responsible to go after him. He, when they first meet, goes, I know it was Death who killed him. You wouldn't do that. And he was like, you're wrong. You don't know me.
Yeah. It was harsh.
It was.
He killed a bunch of people.
And
so then the JSA have to deal with him because he's like a criminal now. Yeah, Black Adam eventually storms on the island.
Yeah, Long Island. But what happens is Will Magnus, they took away his meds that kept him from becoming a mad scientist.
Mm-hmm.
Last swig. And he goes crazy, but he doesn't go supervillain crazy. He recreates all his metal men, and they're all like tiny. And
they're like this big.
He uses them to take out the Eggman.
Yeah.
Chungzong, whatever his name is. And what's really cool is he's like, I've got a gun and a bullet. And he shoots it and it's lead. He shoots the lead metal.
It's not even a gun, it's just like a pipe that he jumps out of.
Yeah. And he like takes a big chunk out of his head.
Yeah.
And he's like, he says something like, I have a particle accelerator. I don't know what it'll do to you when I pull this trigger. But he gets pretty much all of them to back off. And he was like, all right, I'm done.
The cool part about the fight between all the scientists and Black Adam is that they all team together and beat him. Like, which you wouldn't think they would be able to do.
I love how they rally together. One of them's like, you are all acting like you've been bullied your whole lives. And you have, because we're smart people.
Yeah.
So we're gonna rally together and finally beat this bully. Yeah.
Who rescued him? Like, cause he was trapped.
The JSA.
Did they?
I'm pretty sure it was the JSA.
Okay. I just didn't remember.
Like one of Will lets him in.
Yeah.
I love the whole time they're doing this. Morrow is like trying to win an eBay bid to buy back Red Tornado from Australia.
Because he has the secrets of the multiverse.
Yeah.
He's the one that saw it.
52. No, mate. Australia.
Australia. Trying to find that part. Yeah, it was Atom Smasher that broke him out because he's like, yeah, I know you didn't kill all those people just for revenge. You know, it was the Four Horsemen, right? And he's like, you don't know me.
And he escapes. And so Black Adam single-handedly starts World War III, pretty much. And he's pretty much slaughtering his way through Beijing because the Chinese government sanctioned Intergang in their actions against Kahndaq and Black Adam. They're the ones who orchestrate all this to kill his family. Yeah. So the Great 10, which is China's superhero team, is trying to fight him off, but they can't do it. They don't have the power. So
finally let the JSA come help.
Yeah, because all their leaders die. Like, he kills all of them. And just August General in Iron, who's the leader of the Great 10, reluctantly says, China is accepting international aid. So the JSA, they all just storm in.
Yeah.
And they
defeat him. They get Shazam. Captain Marvel to fly in because they both get hit by lightning to have their powers taken away.
So Shazam.
So he flies into Black Adam and says Shazam, and then depowers Black Adam. But while they were all fighting him, Captain Marvel changed Black Adam's magic word.
So he can't say Shazam to get his powers.
Yeah. So he doesn't know what his magic word is anymore.
And apparently he'll never guess it.
Apparently, that's what he says. So Black Adam gets away. He's not punished.
He's hiding around.
He's depowered.
Yeah, he's hiding in Kahndaq.
He's just walking around trying to guess the word.
Eternity.
Yeah.
Stone.
Another cool part. I hate that this was such a small part, but I love Batman, so I'm going to talk about it.
I mean, yeah, go ahead.
So Batman at this point in DC, he's been through a lot, and he's disappointed in himself that he's so
dark.
What do you call it? Paranoid and distrusting of people, because he created the Brother Eye satellite because of that, and you see what that did.
Well, yeah.
So he's he's taking a break as Batman. Actually, he says that he's not going to be Batman anymore. And he goes off to places overseas, like different places. He goes to all kinds of different people to talk to them. And he eventually goes to the Ten-Eyed people. What are they called?
The land of the Ten-Eyed tribes. The Ten-Eyed tribes.
Okay.
They don't have,
eyes on their fingertips.
But they're not actual eyes. They just use all their other senses.
Cool. So he fights these people, and their whole thing is, we will cut out your demons.
He goes,
and
do it!
They're all standing there about to slice at him, and they're like, if you twitch, if you even flinch, you will surely die.
If you even blink.
Yeah, don't blink.
Wibbly wobbly.
So they like cut out his demons, whatever that means.
His paranoia and stuff.
And
it doesn't. I don't think it worked.
Batman is just sitting there on his knees, like, I'm free. The Bat is dead.
And then he realizes that he wasn't sane without those demons or something.
Like, those demons kept him safe. You know?
Yeah.
I don't know how to explain that any better than what they.
They don't really. They don't really resolve that either in this book.
Yeah. There was another part of Batman. Oh, he goes into a cave on the Parbat, where
yeah,
Montoya was.
Yeah, Tim is talking to you. He's like, I bring you soup. And he's like, I was thinking about that meditation thing you told me. About a cat trying to be shoved into a bottle.
A goose, yeah.
Yeah, goose. He goes, yeah, that can't work. And he's like, you're right. Look, it's out. And then Batman's walking out.
Tim says, but I got to thinking, the goose is only in the bottle because you said it was.
Yeah.
He's like, yes, they are just words, so the goose is free. It's like, okay.
You have to have infinity IQ like me to understand wisdom like that.
So like some weird mystical stuff with Batman in this.
Yeah.
Not used to seeing that a lot, but it makes sense going into what Grant Morrison is doing. You know.
Tanner will not be present when we do that.
No, he won't be. I am excited to pick up on that, but like the next part of that omnibus is Final Crisis.
Yeah.
So we have to do that, which we're doing next for our CHIMICRISIS. I'm excited.
I am too.
I am very excited. Alright, so the last storyline to kind of wrap it up is the whole thing with Booster Gold.
Yeah, Booster Gold
and Supernova.
Yeah, Booster Gold is not as much the douchebag we thought he was.
So the guy Supernova's been flying around, and Wyatt called it. Turns out
he was actually Booster.
That's
Gold.
Booster.
Yeah, he was using time travel to be in two places at once.
Yep.
Because you see, when he first went in last week, when we talked about him going into Rip Hunter's lab and seeing that he was the cause of all time, Rip showed up there because Skeets couldn't look in and see it. Because Skeets is apparently harboring the main villain of this book, Mr. Mind. So Rip explains everything to him, and he's like, all right, this is what we're going to do. We're going to use time travel so you can be two places at once. You're going to go out and do this, but you're also going to go back in time and be Supernova.
They showed him Mr. Mind.
Yeah, that thing was freaky looking. It was like, remember that episode of SpongeBob with the caterpillar and the butterfly? And like they would zoom in on it and show this bug? Yeah, that scared me as a kid, and that reminds me of it.
That scared you, really?
This is
That's
nasty.
funny.
I wouldn't watch that episode anymore when it came on. I was like, oh, I want to watch SpongeBob.
Yeah, so apparently this thing is like nested inside Skeets, and that's why Skeets has been acting up and like getting time wrong and like just saying weird things. It's because of this guy's in there. And Mr. Mind is a guy that like eats universes. He's very hungry.
He eats the entire like Phantom Zone or whatever.
The Phantom Zone, yeah. And then he like throws it up.
Throws it up. And Rip Hunter used Dr. Morrow's machine that lets him see into the future to see that exact moment. So he had Supernova deflect it because his suit could do that, and then Supernova's like, let me in, let me in. When I read that, I thought of that meme, and I wanted to superimpose Eric Andre's face on top of it.
Well, the Supernova in this part is actually Booster's
Descendant.
Ancestor.
Ancestor. Opposite end of the spectrum.
It's like
Daniel
his
Carter.
great-grandfather?
Yeah,
Something
and
like that?
Booster is kind of getting self-doubt. He's like, I'm a screw-up. Why am I here saving the universe, the multiverse? And Daniel Carter's like, hey, if the 5th best term life insurance salesman can do it, then so can you.
Yeah, that was funny. So,
and
they've got to defeat this creature.
And they need a power source. So Booster gets a really cool moment. Oh, did you want?
No, go ahead.
Okay, because I like Booster. So
Yeah.
he gets this cool moment where he goes in time to find Ted, Blue Beetle, his friend, and he finds the Scarab device is what he used to power it, and he gets this recollection.
That, like, as a power source.
Yeah, and he gets like I said, a cool moment with Ted, and his last words is like, yeah, you'll probably, I know where you'll die. You'll be dead dressed as a dung beetle.
Yeah.
And he goes, ha, hey, where'd he go?
So, I have it written down because I couldn't remember all this.
Is that why you sent that to me?
Yeah. Well, actually, I just want to square it with you and just be like, is this really what happened? So, because I was confused. So, what really happened during Infinite Crisis, I didn't think that was what happened. I thought they were all different, I didn't know they were identical at that point. So, in Identity Crisis, Alex Luthor was pulling in a bunch of Earths, right? Like a lot more than 52, like they say in this book. They're all different. That's why he's like trying to pick the perfect ones
and merge them together.
Yeah, and some of them he's just discarding because they're all different. They're not identical. Then he takes all of that and pushes it into one single Earth. It's called New Earth. Is what they decide on. So now there's not a multiverse. There's one Earth. Well, then that Earth exploded into 52 identical Earths. They're all the same. There's nothing different about them at all. There's just 52 of them.
A new multiverse.
So there's 52 universes. Well, and they were all occupying the same space.
But on different vibrational frequencies.
Yeah, and then they slowly began to separate. Yeah. Yeah, weren't they like all in one space and then they started to like branch out? And then what Mr. Mind is doing, he keeps like teleporting them to different Earths, and he's eating parts of them, like
and
time and space.
It changes them. Like they go to one and they're like above the Justice League. They're like, hey, Superman, Johns.
Yeah.
Come help.
And it turns into Earth 3.
Yeah.
Like
the
crime syndicate.
Yeah.
The anti-Justice League. They're evil.
They don't really look like the Justice League.
Yeah, you got like Owlman, Ultraman, Superwoman.
Yeah.
They're all evil. It's cool.
Owlman.
Yeah. So, Mr. Mind eating these places is turning them into different things. Sometimes it's not necessarily bad.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's really bad.
Yeah, there was the really cool one where it was like Earth X with Uncle Sam and the Freedom Fighters.
Yeah, like World War II still going.
Oh, I love Uncle Sam, and rip Uncle Sam from Infinite Crisis. R.I.P.
Well, he's alive now.
Oh, he is?
See, there you go. And it's really confusing because they showed a shot of Earth 2, but like that Earth 2 has the JSA characters, but our Earth also has the JSA characters. So like it's different than what happened on the first Crisis when they were just on their separate Earth. Yeah. So Mr. Mind, this weird alien creature, is the reason that the multiverse is interesting, pretty much.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it would just be 52 of the same thing. But he makes it to where we can have Elseworld stories. He's basically an editorial convenience. if you will.
I love they put all these stories in this weekly series, but then at the end, just this. They're like, all right, this helps us. We delivered.
Here's the finale.
Yeah,
a slug.
We delivered all these awesome stories, so don't hate us for this. But we kind of need it to happen. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Ralph.
So you end it with apparently Ralph turned into a ghost.
And he's walking around with Sue.
So he gets to be with Sue, but they're not like alive. I guess they didn't want it to be so happy that it's cringy.
It's DC. It has to be dark.
Yeah. Something has to be left undone.
And Booster goes to Will Magnus, and he gets Skeets back. The not crazy one.
Apparently, Magnus made a copy of Skeets' memory, so, like, when he first brought him in a year ago. So,
That's
Skeets
convenient.
is like, so what happened?
Did I miss anything?
So Booster has to tell him everything that happened.
You kind of tried to eat the multiverse.
Yeah.
But yeah, and it ends with Kate Kane is recovering from being stabbed in the chest by Manaheim, and she was rescued by Renee, obviously. Mm-hmm. And Renee is there as the question. She paints a question mark on a spotlight and points it at her building for some reason. It's like, why'd you do that? Like she asked her, because that's a question, isn't it?
It's a strange flirt.
Yeah, exactly.
Pretty much.
Renee's still trying to get in her pants.
Yeah, so there you have it. This is really good.
It was very good.
Stuff.
It was good stuff.
It took a long time to read, but like it was worth it.
It was faster.
Wow. Ironically, this is more issues than Identity Crisis. I think
that was a way faster read.
Infinite Crisis, but this looks thinner.
And it was just a faster read, to be honest.
You thought this was faster than Identity Crisis? Infinite Crisis?
Well, when we did it in 2 parts, so both parts, yeah.
But you still read less in Infinite Crisis. Honestly, I didn't know this was going to have such important ramifications. You know? But I'm glad it did. Like, it made it worth reading. You know?
Yeah. Like everything with Kahndaq and Black Adam.
And I didn't realize that you really needed this. Because, like, that's a big deal that the whole thing with the multiverse at the end, like, that's a big deal to understand what's going on. Which will take us straight into Final Crisis. You know, so we know what's going on now. So, our next part of CHIMICRISIS will be Final Crisis by Grant Morrison. Buckle up, because I promise you will be so confused.
I'm going to get into a limo. The thing's going to roll down. Grant Morrison's going to look back and go, buckle up, Wyatt. And Tanner's going to be at the side, the shotgun going, that's right, Wyatt.
Oh. Yeah, so we'll be tackling Final Crisis. That will be the Final Crisis.
Until we get Finaler Crisis.
Yes. There's other crises, but like they're not really crises.
These are the main ones.
Yeah, like these are the ones with actually crisis in the title.
Yeah.
So.
Well, thanks for watching, everyone.
Our next Read and Tell episode.
Oh yeah.
Which Tanner will be on.
Oh, he will?
Going to be.
You convinced him?
Arkham Asylum by Grant Morrison.
How did you convince him to do this?
I don't know, but he agreed to it.
I asked him if he was, and he was like, no, that's all you, man. And that's when I got the idea to do the novel thing, because I was like, I wonder if I could rope Riley into this.
I'm excited because I've read this one time before. Mm-hmm. It's so creepy and scary.
Yeah, Riley recommends that you only read it at night with all the lights off.
Yes.
I don't know how you read it with the lights off, but give it a try.
Next to a lamp on your nightstand. That's the way I read it.
With the door open and the hallway dark.
Yes.
So you can see the
Make sure you're all alone. And play slow piano music in the background.
No, just look up horror movie soundtrack. Just play it, and you'll just see
the art really adds to how creepy it is, because it's so like so not conventional.
This is good art.
Yeah, that's the script. That's the script. The actual comic isn't that long. Like, you see how creepy it is, though?
Yeah, this is some weird art.
Yeah.
Do you want to show them some?
No, we'll show it on our episode.
Okay.
If you're
So
curious,
look for that.
Go to Google.
Yeah. It's on Hoopla, I'm pretty sure.
Hoopla, your
Get
number
it,
one
get
comic
it for
shop.
free on Hoopla and read it because it's really good stuff. So that'll be our next episode, and our next CHIMICRISIS episode will be Final Crisis. So we're gonna do some reading, and we'll see you next time.
Peace.